Good morning, Ultimate Hustlers and Digital Empire Builders. It is that time for the Cortez Hub. Today, we're continuing our series on the 5 pillars of leadership. We're talking about the importance of clarity of vision as a leader. You've got to be crystal clear on what it is that you're trying to achieve. Because if you're not, then how are you going to lead other people in that vision? How are you going to get the buy-in? How are you going to get the help and the support that you need? So that's what we're talking about today. Do me a huge favor. Comment in the chat where you're from. Drop the name of your business and or your brand. Smash that share button, ladies and gentlemen. And let's kick it this morning. Yo, what's up, Ultimate Hustlers, and welcome to the Cortez Hustle Show, the business podcast for the entrepreneur of the 21st century. And I'm your host, Cortez Hustle. Our goal is to give you a behind-the-scenes look at how the world's greatest hustlers build amazing brands, scale their businesses to incredible heights, sell more, make more, and create mass movements that impact the world. It doesn't matter if you're a seasoned vet or you're sitting on the sidelines with aspirations to one day unleash your inner hustle. This show will provide the insights into how pure grit, determination, and hard work has morphed into some of the most iconic brands and personalities and how they are moving the culture forward. You'll get a mix of solo shows featuring yours truly, as well as interviews and content from other hustlers that I either know personally or I've learned from or whose grind I've come to know and respect. And you'll also get exclusive recordings from our membership called Monetize My Life Academy, which you can check out at monetizemylifeacademy.com. That's a program where we go live every month with some of the best hustlers on the planet, sharing best practices on how we all can explode our brands with advanced branding and marketing tactics, business development strategies, and financial game planning necessary to build the empires we all desire. Again, that's at monetizemylifeacademy.com. If you like today's episode, chances are the hustlers you're connected to will like it as well. Share it with those in your network. And when you do, use hashtag Cortez Hustle so I can see you and hopefully give you a shout out and share you in my stories. So check out today's episode and make sure you subscribe to the feed on your favorite podcasting networks. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Cortez Hustle Show. I am your host, Cortez Hustle, everybody's favorite SaaSpreneur, coming to you live and direct from the local Biz Marketing Pro studios right here in St. Louis, Missouri. Local Biz Marketing Pros. All we want to do is see you win, no matter what. And how do you win as a small local business and compete with national brands? How do you do that? Well, you absolutely must optimize your online presence, increase your lead flow, grow your revenue so that you can expand your operation and ultimately contribute more to the communities that you serve. And we want to help you do that. We got a free online marketing checklist for you. Go over to localbizmarketingpros.com, grab that online marketing checklist. If you want a free marketing strategy session as well, you'll be able to book that right in the website too, localbizmarketingpros.com. Today, we are talking all about the 5 pillars of leadership. Pillar number 1 is clarity. How do you clarify your thinking as a leader, and what is the significance of that, and how important is that to getting your mission accomplished, right? That's what we're focusing on today. So I need you to do me a favor. I need you to comment in the chat, first of all, your name, the name of your business and or your brand. I need you to comment where you're from, but then I want you to rate yourself as a leader on the scale of 1 to 10. Where do you think you are as a leader on the scale of 1 to 10, right? Be honest with yourself. That's why we're here. That's why we're doing this series. I tell you every morning or as often as I can, this show is for me. It is me talking to myself out loud, and you guys get to hear. And the phase that I am in my life, the phase that I am on in my business is requiring me to become a better leader. That's why I'm diving into this topic head first. So tell me who you are, the name of your business and on your brand, where you're from, and rate yourself as a leader on a scale of 1 to 10. 10 meaning you're a fantastic leader, 1 meaning not so much. A couple quick announcements before we start the show. Y'all know what happens when a holiday rolls around. Every time a holiday rolls around, your boy has a special holiday promo for you. And it's no different. I will be announcing the holiday promotion tomorrow. So y'all need to stay tuned. But I'm just going to say this. You're going to be able to get the entire sales opportunity system, solopreneur success system, probably for a little or nothing, right? You're going to be able to test that thing out for 30 days. And we're probably going to roll in a lead generation challenge. Again, everything that I am experiencing in my business and the things that I am focusing on, I try to bring it to you guys to bring you all along for the journey. And lead generation is one of the things that I have been challenged to focus on for the rest of the year. So I might do a challenge with you guys to help you focus on lead generation as well, because as you know, lead flow determines cash flow, right? So we want to help you with your lead. So be on the lookout for that. Also, the brand new Google My Business training guide is now available for a low cost of $9.95. What does that mean for you? That means in order for you to take your business to the next level, Google My Business is one of the resources that you're absolutely going to need, especially for local service-based businesses. So we put this training guide together to not only help you set up and or claim your Google My Business profile, but how to optimize it, right? It is critically important that you have the right information on your profile, that you are leveraging this tool to the best of your ability. And this guide walks you through. In addition to walking you through that, we also walk you through with some bonus training on the 4 critical marketing systems that every business needs. So it's a fantastic opportunity for you to get trained on Google My Business and some general marketing strategies as well. So check that out. Links in the comments and in the show notes. So y'all ready? Buckle up. Hold on tight. It's time to start the show officially. And the way we do that is with a quote of the day. So today's quote says this: be more intentional about who you want to become. Have vision beyond your current circumstances. Imagine your best future self and start acting like that person today. If you guys have a favorite quote, I want you to put that in the comments. But this one is from Brendon Burchard, author of High Performance Habits. Again, this is where I am, right? In my life, as a man, as a father, as a husband, as an entrepreneur, I need better habits. So I'm studying habits and leadership, right? But Brendon Burchard wrote that book. It's an amazing resource for anyone who's trying to become more and produce more. Be more intentional about who you want to become. Have vision beyond your current circumstances. Imagine your best future self and start acting like that person today. What does your best future self look like? Right? I can't wait till y'all meet the Cortez hustle of 2025, the Cortez hustle of 2030, the Cortez hustle of 2040. Cool dude. I spend lots of time with him. What does your future best self look like? And are you starting to act like that today? Right? Are you being intentional about who you want to become, or are you just allowing yourself to meander throughout this life and like a river taking the path of least resistance, right? You've got to be intentional about who you want to become. You got to see yourself beyond your current circumstances, right? One of the things that my gift from God, right, is imagination. And sometimes that imagination gets me in trouble, right? Because sometimes I live too much in the fantasy land and the possibilities of what can become, right? And I thank God for a wife that keeps me grounded, right? She allows my head to be in the clouds most of the time, but every now and then she's got to pull me back down to reality and say, okay, I need you to look at this present situation in present tense, and we need to solve for this, right? But you got to imagine yourself beyond your current circumstances. I know in some of our lives, based on where we are, we're in some dark places, right? But you got to be able to imagine your way out of that. You got to be able to see yourself beyond your current situation. Be intentional about becoming the person capable of getting you out of that situation. See yourself, the best version of yourself, and start acting like that person today, y'all. You don't become that person and then start acting like that person. No, you start acting like that person, then you become that person. I hope that makes sense. So that is the quote of the day right here on the Cortez Hustle Show, brought to you by our good friends over at Local Biz Marketing Mastermind. It is a free Facebook group designed for local business owners who are trying to figure out, how do we compete with national brands, right? How do we dominate in our online marketplace for the services that we operate in? Well, you got to optimize your online presence. That's going to increase your lead flow. That's going to help you grow your revenue so that you can expand your operation and contribute more to the communities that you serve. What I want you to do is join our private Facebook group. There's lots of motivation. There's lots of good content in there to help you transform your business and ultimately your life. The name of the group is Local Biz Marketing Pros. So if you're listening to this on the podcast, the audio only version, then you can go over to Facebook, search Local Biz Marketing Pros, ask to join, answer the questions, and I'm going to let you in. It's a safe space for entrepreneurs to develop as entrepreneurs, especially in the areas of branding and marketing, service output, using the internet and social media and those sorts of things. So Local Biz Marketing Mastermind right here on Facebook. So we're on this kick, this leadership kick, right? Chances are, if you are not where you want to be in life, it has a lot to do with your present level of leadership, meaning the people that you are allowing to lead you and the number one person that is responsible for leading you, which is you. A lot of us tend to believe that if we are not in an official leadership capacity, we don't have the title of leader in our job, in our church, in our community, then we must not be a leader. That couldn't be further from the truth, ladies and gentlemen. You are the primary leader in your life. You are responsible for leading you, even if you have to lead yourself to following a great leader, even if you have to lead yourself into the environments that are being led by great people, whether that environment is the right job that has the right leadership, whether that environment is the right church that has the right leadership, whether that environment is the right social club or construct that has the right leadership, whether that you're leading yourself into the right business environment where the right leadership exists to help you grow your business. You are your first and primary leader. And I realize that about myself, especially if you have a family, right? I got a wife and 5 sons to lead, right? And even though they are grown, my oldest will be 30 this month. At the end of this month, my youngest will be 21 in the middle of this month. And guess what? They need my leadership now more than they ever have. And I believe this about motherhood and fatherhood. I believe the man has to be the example as the youngins are growing up, but I believe they need more nurturing from mom from 0 to 18, right? But I believe 18 to 40, they need dad to really guide them through this world. And that's where I am with mine. That's why I am focusing on becoming an even better leader for my family, for my sons, for my community, for my business, for my social networks. I just know that there is more in me. And if I become more, I can do more. If I can do more, I can then have more. You got to become, you got to be, you got to do, and then you got to have. So the importance of clarity as a leader. Even in the rush of today, day-to-day activities, the most effective leaders take time to dream. They understand that a clear and unlimited vision, the ability to see themselves and their teams accomplishing great things, is their inheritance, their birthright, and their greatest single source of inspirational and motivational power. Give me a one if you agree that you got to be able to leverage your power of imagination. He said it is our inheritance, it's our birthright, and the greatest single source of inspirational and motivational power, right? There's nothing like the pull of the future when you learn how to tap into that from an imagination standpoint, right? There's some of us needs to be pushed from behind, right? But when you get to a certain place in your life, the push from behind, you begin to resent that, right? But when you have that pull from the front, from your future, you see yourself in a different light. You see who you have the potential to become. That becomes a pull for you. And it's constant and it's steady. And all you have to do is allow it to continue to pull, right? Crystallized thinking moves dreams a step further, honing and shaping the aims and ambitions of unlimited vision into worthwhile goals and objectives. So it's cool to dream big. It's cool to visualize your life, your best future self, but then you got to crystallize that into actionable goals and planning, right? Crystallized thinking is one of the most valuable leadership commodities you can possess. Top leaders crystallize their thinking to distill their unlimited vision. Crystallized thinking helps them identify the specific goals they want to achieve and identify where they are, identify where they and their team stand now in relation to those objectives. We talk about the GPS analogy all the time. When you crystallize your thinking, make sure that you are honest with yourself and you literally come to the realization of where you are with your team. I am in a content for leads challenge with Steve Larson, right? Some of you guys may know of Steve Larson. He is out of the Russell Brunson's camp, right? He worked over at ClickFunnels for 4 or 5 years, helped Russell Brunson write Expert Secrets and develop some of the content over there that ClickFunnels is known for, right? So in this challenge, he got us doing what's called an ROI calculator for our content, right? How do you determine the value of your content so you can track the most important measurables in growing your business from a content perspective, right? And in this calculator, you have to be honest with your daily lead flow, right? How many leads does your content get you every single day? How are you tracking those things? Because if you're not completely and 100% honest with where you are, no plan is going to help you. The only way that a plan can help you is if that plan is designed to take you from exactly where you are. So when you start to crystallize your thinking about where you and your team are right now and where you're trying to go, you've got to be 100% honest. So when it comes to crystallizing your thinking, it starts with the old biblical principle of knowing thyself. The most effective leaders use crystallized thinking to determine exactly where they stand now and where they want to go. Only when leaders have examined themselves are they ready to examine and develop a course of action for the organization. Knowing thyself and where you want to go also involves some degree of decision making. It also implies a certain amount of faith. There is never a point at which knowledge, information, or data is complete and totally accurate. Ultimately, you must act. And one of the things that causes you to act, ladies and gentlemen, is faith. like your belief. In fact, you can't tell me that you believe in something that you're not acting on. Oh, I'm gonna say that again. You can't tell me that you believe in the vision that you've seen. You can't tell me you believe in your goals and your dreams and you're not taking one action to get you closer to them. That tells me that you don't believe, that you doubt. Right? Second thing, first, you got to know yourself. Second, you got to crystallize your thinking. Highly effective leaders use crystallized thinking to arrive at a decision, and then they act on that decision. Crystallized thinking is a process that makes it possible to reach confident decisions about the goals they've chosen to pursue. If you are dissatisfied with your present rate of progress compared to your true potential for success, your goals are not clearly defined. Read that one again. If you are dissatisfied with your present rate of progress compared to your true potential for success, your goals are not clearly defined. And that's what got me into this work. See, a lot of times people tend to believe that if you aspire to greater things, then you must not be satisfied with what you have, right? And it's not that I'm not satisfied. It's that I know without a shadow of a doubt that I have more potential in me than I'm executing on. Therefore, I must continue to strive to be better. It's not that I am not proud of where I am. I am not happy with where I am. I am not grateful for what I have accomplished these first 48 years. But when I look on the inside of me, I see something greater. I see a greater capacity to execute, which I have not yet tapped into. So that's causing this ambitious drive to become more, right? Every achievement in any area of life begins with the knowledge of current status and eventual destination. You got to know yourself and you got to crystallize your thinking about where you are and where you want to go. Ask yourself these 6 questions, right? Or is it 6? It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. These 8 questions. And this is really helping me. If you guys want to get this book, it's called The 5 Pillars of Leadership. I'm quite sure that they would by now, because I've had this for a few years myself. So I'm quite sure that now they probably have an audio book as well. Wait a minute. We can't ask these questions because it's time for 1 minute motivation. I'm just going on, and as you guys can tell, I'm fired up about this. But before we move forward, if you're new to the Cortez Hustle Show, every episode we do something called 1 minute motivation. That's where we play a short motivational clip, usually 60 to 90 seconds or so. We ask you to comment your takeaways. I'm going to give a couple takeaways as well. So let's do that. Let's get into some 1 minute motivation right here on the Cortez Hustle Show.
What are your assets? Stop focusing on what you don't have. What do you have? Well, I'm not good in math, and I'm not smart, and I'm not this, and I'm not that. But God has given you something that can win the battle. If I had somebody who would really believe in me, if I had what somebody else has, I'd really do something for God. God has given you a talent. God has given you an ability. Start where you are. Use what you've got. Do what you can, and God will do what you can.
George Mueller once said this: faith does not operate in the realm of the possible. There's no glory for God in what is humanly possible. Faith begins where man's power ends. The Bible tells us that nothing is impossible with God. He delights in impossibilities. You might say to me, Rick, I can't see God working on my dreams in life, in my situation or circumstances at the moment. I don't sense it. And I'm going to tell you something. It's okay not to know how. I've been confident many times in storms that God would prevail, God would come through. Philippians 1:6, that which I have begun in you, I will perform it till the day of Jesus. I've stood on that. But I have also said, I sure don't know how you're going to do it. That's not unbelief. I don't know how you're going to do it, but I am confident you'll do it.
Ooh, that last part was a bar right there. I don't know if y'all picked up on it. See, sometimes we want, as mortal men, for the all-knowing, all-powerful, omnipresent God to reveal to us every step of his plan. That ain't how he works. That ain't how it operates. See, if I tell you every step of the plan, then it's not, your faith is not required, right? If I show you the way out before you get into the mess, then there's no faith required in that. But if you follow me on this journey and you get yourself backed up against a wall where there appears to be no way out, right? That's when God shows up and does his best work. I don't know about you. That's how it's always been in my life. Backs against the wall. And I got faith, Lord God, that it's going to work out. But I don't know how you're going to do it. In fact, I don't even care how you're going to do it. I just know you're going to do it because you always have. Right? What is your faith like? What is your faith like? Right? What assets do you have? And do you believe in the assets that you have that they will make room for you? See, when I look at my life and I look at some of the assets that God has given me, I couldn't see right away that, God, you gave me the spirit of patience. How do I take that, Lord God, and make patience? How do I take that to the marketplace and allow it to make room for me? Right? God, you gave me creative genius and this vivid imagination. I'm not sure that that's going to make room for me. How do I see? I don't have to know the how. I got to get the why and the what right. Right. My mentor, Brian Bain, talks about that often. If I get the why and the what, the how will show up. The how is on God, the why and the what. Okay, why am I here? Figure that out. I'm here to help bring economic empowerment to the Black community by way of entrepreneurship, education, and business development. That's the why and the what, right? How exactly am I going to be able to do that? Just take one step. Just start a business yourself. Just start understanding business yourself. Just start understanding business development. Just start understanding entrepreneurship education. What does people need? You just start yourself. I'm going to work everything else out. Steps 9, 10, and 11. If you just start step 1, the rest of the steps will be revealed to you. Okay. I don't got to know the how. I got the what and the why. Right? It's going to break generational curses in my own family because of entrepreneurship and the way that I'm approaching things. Other people who are starting on this entrepreneurial journey, I'm going to be able to bless them with my what. See, this is how my gifts are coming into play, right? As a marketer and as a business coach and a business strategist, I'm helping other entrepreneurs build generational wealth and legacies of business in their family. I won't even be able to calculate the amount of people that I'm helping with the content that I put out every day. But it ain't for my calculation. It ain't for my glory. It's for the glory of God. But I got to do my part, right? And those who tap into this information and they break those generational curses and they come to work with me, it's revealed to me now, Cortez, this is why I bless you with patience. Because you're working with business owners who've got the desire that I placed in their heart, but they've been employees all their lives. And it's going to take some time and patience to help guide them from an employee mindset into an entrepreneur mindset. And you got to be patient with these people. Oh, God, I get it now. This is why I have so much patience. I get it now. Patience is part of my purpose. Oh, it makes sense now. As a marketer, Cortez, you're going to be dealing with small business owners who have done marketing in a certain way and have been taught that the only way you market is through newspaper, TV, and radio, but they live in the 21st century where there's all of these other marketing channels that they don't know anything about. You're going to need your creative genius to help them to see how to best leverage these other avenues. And you're going to have to be patient with them, Cortez, as they're learning how to trust these other modes of advertising and these other platforms. It's going to take some patience in you. You're going to have to be creative in your approach to how you help take someone who's got a gift, a talent, and help them see more, right? I got on the phone with my girl Ariel yesterday. She is the founder of Young Biz Kids and YBK Day, and she teaches youth entrepreneurship. She said, Cortez, I've been led to write another book. But this time the book ain't for kids. It ain't for moms of kid entrepreneurs. It's for the moms themselves. And we got to brainstorm, and I was like, look, sis, there are some things that you can parallel business and motherhood. And if you do this, you're going to be able to put yourself in a stratosphere where you stand alone as the expert in this space. Oh, God, I get it now. That's why you gave me the creative genius. So when my friend calls on me and needs a brainstorm, I can leverage my creative genius to spark her creative genius so that she can start pulling out of herself what you put in herself to bless millions of women all around the world. I get it now. I got the gift. What are your assets? See, sometimes your asset isn't a particular skill, right? Patience isn't a particular skill that I can quantify. Imagination isn't a particular skill that I can quantify, but I do have examples of what to look to and see what imagination can produce, because I can look at a Walt Disney. I can look at an Elon Musk. I can look at a Bob Johnson and see what imagination has been able to bring to this world. And I say, okay, I can't quantify it right now, but that creative genius, God, that you gave me, that patience that you have given me, like those are two of my biggest assets. And if I just keep walking and allowing you to order my steps, you're going to continue to reveal to me how those assets will make room for me at the top. What are your assets? Are you leaning all the way into them? Are you focusing on the development of those assets? Are you speaking to your life and over your life about how these assets are unique to you and how you're supposed to be using these assets to grow, to bless the lives of other people? Because your blessing is always tied to somebody else. I'm going to leave that right there. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is 1 Minute Motivation right here on the Cortez Hustle Show, brought to you by the Black Biz Success app. It is the all-in-one sales and marketing platform specifically designed for Black-owned businesses to help you grow, scale, compete with national brands, to get your piece of this American pie. You need the tools, the right resources. So Black Biz Success app is that for you. We have the tools, we have the templates, we have the training to help you grow and scale your business. BlackBizSuccess.com. Make sure y'all go check that out. If you need resources to help you grow your business, that is a perfect place to go. BlackBizSuccess.com. Now, let's get back into these questions that you need to ask yourself to help clarify your vision about yourself. Number one, ask yourself this question: what do I want? Asking this question helps isolate the specific dreams and desire common to both leaders and team members. What is the reason for your striving? What do I want? Ask yourself that question and be honest, really. And don't ask yourself this question and answer it with your own limiting beliefs. See, sometimes I'm going to keep going back to this, is because when you ask yourself, what do you really want? You don't want to say $1 billion. You don't want to say a beach home and a winter home. You don't want to say that I want a rock solid family. You don't want to say that I want all of these amazing things, because you think in your mind and your own limited belief, if I start to say that I want all of these things, it means I'm not grateful for what I have. That's not true. What do you really want? And don't be scared to say it and write it down. Number two, why do you want it? Cortez, why is $1 billion the floor for you? Because I watch billionaires move, and I watch, even just from a far distance, the amount of influence and impact that they can have on the world. Some of that influence and impact is positive, some of it's negative. But I want to leverage that power, that influence, that impact, and aim it at the Black community. I believe that a few billionaires can come in and clean up the entire Black community, provide jobs, provide the right mindset, provide clinics, healthcare, mental health care, because a lot of our problems stem from mental health challenges based on being Black in America, right? I just believe that the right person with that kind of power, leverage, and money can do a world of good and transform a lot of lives. And I believe that's my floor. I just believe that, right? That's why I aspire. I believe that entrepreneurship is the way to do that. I believe branding, marketing, and media are the easiest pathways to get to that level of revenue. You look at all of the billionaires in the world, and a lot of them are leveraging marketing and media along with a few other entrepreneurial disciplines to get to that $1 billion status, right? So what do you want? Why do you want it? This is the gut punch question right here. This is the one to make y'all turn me off and stop listening. Why don't you already have it? Hoo-wee. Why don't you already have it? What do you want? Why do you want it? Why don't you have it? Answer that honestly. Honestly, because I've been slipping on my pimping. I've been slacking on my macking. I ain't been as disciplined as I could be. I ain't been as organized as I could be. It's taken me over a year, and I still ain't figured out how to incorporate daily planning and writing my next day's desires down the night before I go to sleep. It's been a year since I was introduced to Brendan Bouchard and started getting his planners and stuff, and I still ain't been able to incorporate that into my life. I ain't as organized as I could be. I ain't the best leader that I could be. I ain't the best visionary. I ain't the best. Come on now. Answer that for yourself. What do you want? Why do you want it? Why don't you already have it? Can it be obtained? Yes or no? Do I look around and I see other billionaires exist? Yep. Do I see other Black billionaires? Yep. Do I see other billionaires from other cultures? Yep. So if anything any other human being can do, if I put my mind to it and I work hard enough and I work smart enough, I believe I can do it too. Right? I believe I can do it too. If it can be attained, then how will you measure it? How will you measure the pursuit of that thing? How will you measure it? You can't measure what you don't track. So you got to have some way of tracking your progress. You can't grow what you don't measure. So I got to track this progress in some way. I got to figure out, how do I track my growth as a leader? How do I track the growth of my business and the key performance indicators? How do I track all of this stuff so I can measure it, right? Because I can't grow what I don't measure. If I don't measure it, I can't improve it. Whom will it affect? What's up, Mark? He said, come on, kid. Whom will it affect? I know, and I've had this conversation with my family, right? Elevating in business to certain heights brings scrutiny to the whole family. And I'm preparing them to be ready, right? Like think about the spotlight that shines on someone like a Jay-Z and a Beyonce, and they've got young kids. And the conversations that they have to have about when they leave their house and they go out into this world, what they represent, right? You got to think about those things. Who will it benefit? Who will it benefit? You got to ask yourself these questions, right? Impact. Benefit is a powerful motivator. Many leaders shortcut its motivating potential by limiting their sphere of benefit. Goals and objectives should be selected based on criteria that center on benefit and impact. I believe wholeheartedly that I can make a dollar and a difference at the same time. Myron Golden talks about all the time is don't use people to make the money. Make money to love the people. And then use your money to love the people, right? Because the more you serve, guys, if you haven't figured this out, right? Mark is in remote real estate investing. He's buying apartment buildings all over the country. He's serving the people who are in need of housing, good quality housing, where management is in place, is going to take care of them and make sure everything is right. And the more people he serves, the more money he'll make, the more of an impact that he'll have. He'll never know the lives that he's touched because he was able to provide clean, quality housing for someone to lay their head at night. And because of that space that they were afforded to be in, it allowed them to turn one of their spare rooms into a podcast facility in an office, and they built $1 billion enterprise that started in one of his apartment homes. He'll never know that. But he's impacting the world in a very significant way through service. Service is the name of the game, y'all. We are all built to be not independent, not dependent, not codependent, interdependent. I mean, I got to depend on you just like you got to depend on me. I got to be looking out for your best interest like you got to be looking out for my best interest. And the more people we serve in that capacity, the more our capacity to serve grows, and the more we will be blessed and taken care of as a result. Point blank, period. Last question. Where will it lead us? Oh, you got to ask yourself some tough questions. What do I want? Why do I want it? Why don't I already have it? Can it even be attained? How will I measure it? Who will it affect? Who will it benefit? Where will it lead us? Crystallized thinking applies to the whole. All great leaders understand a simple truth. To get the organization right, they have to get the people right. You don't build a business, you build people, and people build a business. You don't build a business, you build people, people build a business. Or we can take it here. You don't build a family, you build the people, and the people build the family. You don't build a church, you build the people, and the people build the church. You don't build a community, you build the people, and the people build the community. First, owners, managers, and leaders may be right themselves. That is, they may see themselves as efficient and productive, but unless they have crystallized thinking to develop a vision for the future of their organization, they cannot achieve success equal to their potential. When highly effective leaders have crystallized their thinking and know where they want the organization to go, they can then share those thoughts with the members of the team. Second, highly effective leaders are prepared to welcome and embrace change instead of trying to run away from it. Third, aspiring leaders cannot minimize the purpose for which the organization exists. The notion that a business exists solely to produce a profit is dangerously short-sighted. Each organization must also serve its own family of team members, its customers, and the society at large. All great leaders crystallize their thinking to help themselves and their teams know what they are striving to do, where the organization is going, and why leaders and team members are making the effort. Statements of mission, vision, and purpose are the hallmarks of crystallized thinking. Let me see how far we got to go. I want y'all to really get this crystallized thinking in your head. Developing a crystallized mission. For your organization, success always revolves around the progressive realization of a worthwhile, predetermined goal. First, crystallize your thinking to determine your team's mission, vision, and purpose. A mission statement is a brief but powerful summary of your reason for existing. What is the mission? To bring economic empowerment to the Black community by entrepreneurship, education, and business development. That's the mission, right? That's the mission, to bring economic empowerment to the Black community through entrepreneurial education and business development. That's the mission. I believe when we start educating our community more on entrepreneurship and start helping those who are already made the plunge into entrepreneurship through business development, I think we're going to transform our community. That's the mission. Right? A crystallized vision statement. The vision statement sets the tone for the future of the company. It should be exciting but brief. It should convey a sense of urgency and a clear sense of corporate destiny. A vision statement defines the future. Every day you work without it, you are working for yesterday rather than tomorrow. What is the vision? To help Black people become the #1 employers of Black people in the next 2 generations. Every other culture is the #1 employer of its culture except Black people. Every other culture is the #1 employer of its culture except us. Now, I'm not naive to discount why that is, right? We have a traumatic and long, complicated history in not only this country, but around the world. I get that. But I try to be solution oriented. There's enough people pontificating and studying and rehashing the past, right? I'll leave that to them. That's their mission. My mission is to transform today with the tools and the resources that we have. I believe that we can see Black people as the #1 employers of Black people in 2 generations. 40 or 50 years, there's enough Black businesses doing well enough to where they are hiring the people in the communities that they serve. It's just what I believe. While your mission statement represents the reasons why you and your organization continue to exist, a vision statement serves a higher purpose. It tells the world what you intend to do with the gifts and talents your creator has given you and your team members. Yeah. So economic empowerment is the mission for our community. How are we going to bring that about? By educating our young people on the power and the necessity of entrepreneurship, educating our existing business owners on the development of the right business models that ultimately grow into institutions. We look at a Walmart. Walmart ain't a business. Walmart is an institution. We look at a McDonald's. McDonald's is no longer a business. McDonald's is an institution. Right? Microsoft isn't a business. Google isn't a business. Amazon isn't a business. Though Apple isn't a business. Apple is worth $3 trillion. That's not a business. That's an institution. You got to create those businesses that will grow into institutions that become so woven into the fabric of this country. Ford, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, right? Those aren't businesses. Those are institutions that are responsible for the hiring and the livelihood of millions upon millions upon millions of people. But if we don't start talking business development to Black entrepreneurs in this way, we'll never grow into those types of institutions that could provide jobs for our people. Remember, if you are not making the progress you would like to make and are capable of making, it is simply because your goals are not clearly defined. If you don't have goals, there is nothing to accomplish. That's what this thing is all about, y'all. So crystallized thinking is important. We didn't cover the purpose, right? A statement of purpose simply states why you and your team are making the effort to succeed. In the great scheme of things, a statement of purpose should probably come before mission and vision. After all, the motivation for certain action must precede the action itself. Many businesses and highly effective leaders already have mission and vision statements, albeit overly worded and imprecise. So why save the statement of purpose for last? Largely because it requires the highest degree of deliberate crystallized thinking, which is the prime reason most leaders and organizations lack anything that resembles a purpose statement, right? So I implore you to start really doing some introspective thinking about where you are right now in as honest of terms as you can fathom. Be honest with yourself. And then think about where you want to go. Where do you want to go? You get those two things together, the what and the why. The how will reveal itself only if you start taking action with what you have. Don't wait on like some of us, hey man, if I get that business loan, I'll start that business. If I get some funding, I'll start that business. No, start where you are with what you have and know that it's enough. Start where you are with what you have and know that that is enough. Enough to do what, Cortez? Enough to get started. It's the start that stops most people. Just know that starting where you are with what you have, that's enough to get started. And after you get started, you'll soonly realize that you have enough to keep going. Just got to get started first. So the next part of this, we'll be talking about the second pillar, which is plans and balance, right? Plans and balance are incredibly important. And on the topic of balance, your balance may not be my balance. If we both have a football team and you run the ball 80% of the time and you throw it 20% of the time, that's balance that works for you. I might, on the other hand, pass the ball 80% of the time and run it 20% of the time. That's balance for me. We're going to be talking about that and how to create and identify and find and walk in the balance that is for you. And that is coming up on Monday, because y'all know tomorrow we do Free Game Fridays. It's all about your business questions. So that's going to come up on Monday. We're going to be talking about balance, right? And planning, and how do you turn that crystallized thinking into an actionable plan that you can track and measure along the way, so you can literally see the growth. And the growth is important, y'all, because if the person that you are today was even capable of having the success that you want to see in your life, you would have already done it by now. You ain't even capable of creating the life that you see. The person that you are today doesn't even have the capacity to pull it off. That's why growth is so imperative. You got to grow into that person to be that's required to pull off and execute on the highest levels of your potential. So continue to grow towards the highest level of your potential. And I'll see you here tomorrow. Bring your questions about branding, marketing, business, strategy, whatever. And I'll do my best to answer them on Free Game Fridays tomorrow. Until I talk to you then, I want you to get your money up, because you absolutely can do it. But more importantly, you deserve to do it, each and every single one of you. Now hustle up. But you've got to overcome fear if you're going to win.
You're tuned into the Cortez Hustle Show. Please like and subscribe.